Steelers fans, we've got one question for you. Is TJ Watt the greatest Steeler ever in regards to the defensive side of the football?
I think, man, in regards to the I would say in the entire team, both sides, Dan. Like, I can't remember. We've had so many great players with this organization over the years. This is a tough.
More than anybody else. More than anybody else.
I think so.
The number of players in camp.
I think so.
But in his absence, it shines a light on his greatness. You could make an argument that he's the greatest Steeler defender we've seen, and by that nature, you could say the greatest Steeler. Just in terms of production, it's been 6 years. There's a lot of Steelers that played for a lot longer, and you hate to, discredit what someone's done in the past, especially with so much greatness that spills over through the halls of Canton. But in his absence, his greatness is highlighted. Very obvious to me right now that, you see the last few seasons he's had. In that first game against the Bengals, he was absolutely wreaking havoc all over the field. They couldn't do anything, largely due to TJ Watt. And we've had lots of great players. Why don't you talk to some of the great players that you think would be over TJ?
I don't know about over. I really don't know about over. In the same category, you have Troy. James Harrison was a game wrecker. Offensively, obviously, you have players like Ben, and here's the difference though. With those the other players that are in the conversation, times that they've gone down in their career with injury, the impact that it's had on the entire team has not been anywhere near as severe as losing TJ Watt. We have great players all over the defense. The defense is really loaded, and yet when TJ Watt goes down, they're 0-7 without him. Man.
Well, a lot of value in championships. It matters when you go in a Hall of Fame. It matters in this argument. That's why for me, Terry Bradshaw's way up on the list. He's got 4 championships. May not have thrown for 5,000 yards in any season. He's got 4 championships. Championships matter. That's one argument that TJ wouldn't, be able to win. But in regards to just wrecking a game, being impossible to go at, and virtually impossible to go around, there has been just illustrious greatness. Troy Polamalu, James Harrison. You go back to the 70s, even mid-90s, you had...
Mid-90s, yeah.
Kevin Green and that linebacking core, and, Cameron Hayward's certainly been great in his career. We've had a lot of greatness, but it's hard to imagine anybody wrecking games as obviously as TJ does in every game he plays.
Yeah, and losing him has been catastrophic for not just the defense but the entire team. It's if he's not in that conversation right now, I understand you putting a player like Polamalu or Mel Blount or insert Steeler great here. I understand you picking them right now, but if TJ Watt stays healthy, plays 4, 5, 6 more seasons, I can almost guarantee that he's going to be that guy by the end. He leaves me no doubt in my mind, just from what I've seen thus far, and we have a fairly large sample size. What he's done, you use the word obvious, and that is the right word. It's blatantly obvious. You see it. It pops off your screen. He destroys offensive game plans. It doesn't matter if you double him. It doesn't matter if you chip him with a receiver and double him. It doesn't matter. He's going to wreck your game.
Yeah, like you said, if he plays 4 or 5 more years and is as productive as he's been, but not if he doesn't get a Lombardi or 2. It's not going to mean near as much if he doesn't have some hardware when it's all said and done. And he can't do it alone. He certainly does everything he can, which is a ton. He's arguably the best player in the league. Had he played like he played in that Bengals game for 3 games, there would have certainly been no argument that he's amongst the best players in football, period.
Yeah. I mean, he would be leading the league in sacks.
That's what the reason for optimism is, you know, and a lot of people will blast us for even asking this question, but I think that he's in the argument with all those guys, you know, game changers like Mel Blount, obviously Mean Joe, Jack Lambert, the whole, you know, 70s team. Just legends everywhere. Mm-hmm. But what he does on the football field is, it's fun to watch. You know, he changes games and he swings the momentum in our favor. And certainly, if we had him healthy through this 4 weeks, we would not be 1-3.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And one reason that I would almost say TJ right now is because Kevin Colbert, I think he hit a walk-off home run with his last draft. I think there's a nice championship window that's opened up. I think there's reason to be optimistic about Kenny Pickett. I think you got TJ locked up long-term. You got Minkah locked up long-term. I think they're going to continue to draft well. I think you got a 4 or 5 year period where I think you might see TJ get some hardware.
Well, I think, you know, Kevin Colbert put one into the streets when he drafted TJ. He played, you know, as tight end starting out in Wisconsin. You know, who other than Kevin Colbert and Mike Tomlin and others, credit to all those guys, saw TJ Watt as perennial All-Pro.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, let us know in the comments. Like, this is just a conversation. We're just kicking around ideas. You watch TJ Watt play, you're going to have questions like this. Let us know in the comments, not just if you think TJ is the greatest of all time, who you think the greatest Steeler is of all time. You watched the whole thing. We appreciate it. Click subscribe so you can help us on our journey to 1,000 subscribers and so you can stay up to date on all the latest Cold Milk content.